Hello and welcome to the Ending Body Burnout Show. We are your hosts, Chris and Philly, co-founders of a multi-award-winning functional medicine practice, serving busy people with energy, mood, and gut issues.
While busyness, addictive doing, people-pleasing, and perfectionism might be the norm, it's not normal, and it's a major contributor to health issues.
Our goal with this show is to give you a holistic root cause approach to healing your body so that you don't have to continue doctor or diet hopping or popping a gazillion supplements hoping something might stick.
So get ready to heal your body, get your spark back, deeply connect with yourself, and step into the life of your dreams.
Let's dive in. Alrighty, welcome everybody to this episode of the Ending Body Burnout Show. We have a very special guest on our call today. We have Mel, and we are going to be doing a live coaching session today. And I enjoy these sessions because we get a real opportunity to chat to someone real. I can ask Mel some questions, find out more about her, and really hone in on a problem that she's got. And I find these sessions are really cool because it's real world. It's not made up. It's not pretend. So welcome, Mel. Thanks so much for coming in and jumping into the hot seat.
My pleasure.
Real quick for our listeners, who are you and where do you live? What do you do? Give us a little rundown on Mel.
No worries. All right. I'm Mel. I live in Adelaide, South Australia. We're about half an hour out of the city, live about 5 minutes to the beach, which we love.
Nice.
I am 42 years old. I'm a teacher. I'm a Japanese teacher. And I work in a primary school about 20 minutes away. I have 3 children. They're almost 14, 11 and 5. And I've been married for almost 17 years. And I'm quite a social person. I love socializing. I love my job. I take great sense of pride and achievement through what I do each day. I feel very blessed to do it. And I'm insanely busy and overwhelmed, as most mums are, I think. But yeah, there's a lot going on. I'm a bit of a chronic overachiever, and I'm a bit of a yes person. I try and add value wherever I go. So I tend to say, I'll do that. And then I tend to sort of crash and burn every now and then. I can mostly keep it together. But so I'm generally a pretty happy, down-to-earth person. But yeah, I have my periods of extreme stress. I think just juggling it all. But yeah, that's a little bit about me.
Cool. I'm pretty sure almost all of our listeners will resonate in some sort of a way. An overachiever, chronic overachiever, a yes person, but then also resonating with the crashes and burn side of things as well. Hey,
I'm not someone who gets sick very often, but over the last couple of years I've got more colds and things, and I generally eat quite well. I haven't exercised very much for a while because my motivation and my energy is so low, so I'm struggling with that. But I'm just finding if I don't get onto it now, I'm just setting myself up for some really bad patterns. I think some things are creeping in, and that's why I thought, well, yep, certainly open to chatting to an expert about where to from here for me. So, and putting myself first instead of like my job and my kids and all of that at the moment. So,
yeah. Okay. So, let's go. Can I just dig a little bit more into these crashes and burns a little bit? And just ask you, like, when's the last time you felt like you were I'm picturing, I just watched a rocket land on YouTube. I pointed over there because that's where I was standing, literally. I was watching I don't even know, maybe it was like a Elon Musk kind of rocket or something landed the other day, and I was watching the landing, and it was coming down, and it was kind of like sideways, and then it was like lots of fire, and then it like landed, and it was like sweet. But then that got me clicking on the next video, and I've seen rockets catastrophically crash and burn, and really sad loss of valuable resources, loss of life. That's a rocket, and I'm imagining when someone says crash and burn, that's what goes straight to my head. What are you seeing in your mind when you say crash and burn? What does that bring up for you?
Yeah, well, I guess I don't tend to like completely lose the plot, if that makes sense. But what I notice is I'm snappy at home. I'm very anxious, so little things trigger me, and because I hold it in all day. I work with some very challenging children, and then I come home after a busy day at work, and I just stress out over tiny little things. I yell more at my kids, which I hate doing. I'm more snappy with my partner, and I just find I'm in a state of fight or flight all the time. So, as I said, not necessarily getting sick per se. I may get more headaches, and I do have some issues with my posture with my neck, so I have to be mindful of that. So I see a physiotherapist quite regularly. And then things will improve for a bit, but then I'm just so busy, I just sort of find it hard prioritising things and just sort of fitting everything into my day. So it can get very overwhelming. And then I sort of, my neck gets worse, or my energy levels get worse, and then like I'm all right for a few weeks, and then I'm bad for a few weeks. So it's just kind of this constant up and down for me, I think, is probably the best way of describing it. But I have been unwell just over the last few days. I've caught something. I think it's just starting to catch up with me a little bit in that way. I do tend to bounce back quickly, because one thing I do really try throughout is I still tend to maintain fairly good habits with eating regularly, getting lots of veggies in and things like that. I really value the role that food has to play in my life, and I do have, like, I have put on weight over the last few years, but I still feel like I'm a relatively healthy person, if that makes sense, on the inside. Yeah.
Okay. Thanks for that. That sounds familiar. No doubt our listeners are going, yeah, oh, amen, sister. Yeah. Like it's such a common story, crash burn cycle. It's not just a crash burn event, it's a cycle, hey?
Yeah. And I tend to find I have these periods of time throughout the year where I'm like, okay, I've got this and this happening. I get through to that. I've just got to get through to that. And then that happens, and I kind of relax for a few days. And then I've got the next big thing happening, and I'm kind of just living for these big events and these like building up to things. And I also feel that I'm not just kind of living in the moment. I'm kind of like, okay, I've got to do this and this is happening. And I do tend to find the mindset around that. I'm noticing that more.
Interesting. Yeah. Super interesting. Okay. So is there anything else that you think is interesting, or bits of insights, like you're noticing that you're not living in the moment? I wrote that down. That's interesting.
I don't, my sleep gets affected horribly. So like I find it really hard switching off at night. Once I'm asleep, I generally stay asleep. But I'm a notorious night owl. I am up meal prepping at night. I'm getting kids' lunches made. I'm also then vegging out, watching Netflix while I'm doing stuff, so I'm not working as effectively. And then I'm getting to bed. I very rarely get to bed and asleep before 11:30 every night, and then I'm up by 7:30. So I know that I'm not getting enough sleep. And like for years and years, I was someone that could just get by on 6 or 7 hours sleep and be completely fine. But I think now that I'm getting older, I'm the gynecologist, when I caught up with her over recent times, said, yes, you're definitely in perimenopause. So things are happening there hormonally that are new as well that I'm experiencing. And I just don't think I can maintain that lifestyle that I've had so far, if that makes sense. Yeah. I'm like, I need to make some changes because, I need to get more sleep. And I know that if I get more sleep, energy will improve, but I just can't seem to break those bad habits around my nighttime activities. Yeah.
Got it. Yeah. Philly and I recorded a podcast yesterday. Depends on when this, I don't know when this one's going to come out, but yesterday in time, we're October right now. But we recorded one on, fetch, what's it called? Sleep. Revenge. Oh man, I can't remember the title. This is awful. Revenge sleep procrastination. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. So when you don't get enough me time, Mel, during the day, at the end of the day, when it's just you and you have all the you time, all of the Mel time available to you, it's Netflix and meal prep and this sort of stuff. I've been hanging out for this, and then it's time. You get the ability. No one's in your way. Everyone's asleep except for you.
Yeah.
Actually, you didn't say that.
I like those night hours, if that makes sense. Like, I like just sort of being able to just take it easy and potter around the kitchen and do that. But, I've recognised that I'm just not getting to bed early enough. And the last few nights I've tried to have less screen time before bed, but I've been reading instead. So it's not like I'm like replacing something with something else. And whilst reading at night is better than being on a screen, I recognise that, I'm still I'd almost call myself a bit addictive in the things that I do at times. I find it hard. Like last night I was in bed by 10. I'm like, right, I'm only going to read for half an hour. It was 11:30 when I turned off my lamp because I just couldn't put my book down. And it's a book I've read before. So I don't know what it is. It's just like this block that I have about just turning things off or closing the book and then just going, I need to go to sleep.
Okay. Why is this so important to you, by the way? The reason I ask, okay, in your mind, you're thinking, this is a real problem for me because X, Y, Z and ABC, and you're picturing something going on. But then there might be somebody listening to this and they'll be like, oh, 11:30, crap, I'm like 3:30 a.m. She's going to bed so early. And then other people will be like, 11:30, holy smokes, it's like almost my wake up time. Like, how does she stay up so late? And like, like for you, like we're all different. In your mind, why are you seeing 11:30, reading a book, pottering around the kitchen? Like, why is this panning out to be a problem for you? Not saying, and I'm not saying it's not, because obviously it is for you.
I actually think it stems down to self-control. I have a lack of self-control, and that's what worries me because I am a bit of a control freak in so many other ways. A lot of teachers are. If you interview teachers, you'll probably find that is quite a normal thing for us. But then when it comes to this routine at nighttime, I have no self-control at all, and that worries me. I think that's what it is.
Okay. Are you sure? Like, is that the real problem? Are you sure that's the real problem?
Well, I think that's certainly part of it, but I think the other part is I know that I need to get more sleep. I know that that's what my body is needing, yet I'm not giving it. I'm not honouring my body in that way, and that's frustrating me.
Okay, here we go. So that's what you're aware of. Like, that's the thing. I'm aware I need more sleep, but then it's like that's kind of still solution, isn't it? Like, what's the problem there? Like, why are you attaching sleep to the solution? Like, why can't it be something else? Why can't you? stay up and then sleep in, or like what? Why sleep? Why is sleep the
I think that's
solution?
just the one that makes the most logical sense. Like, body needs sleep, body needs nutritious food, body needs exercise. Like, those three things are just like cornerstones of healthy living, I guess. And I'm doing one of those things pretty well at the moment. Or at least I have been, like, I'm in a period where I am eating well and like looking to improve that. But there's no energy for the exercise or motivation. So I guess in my mind I go, well, if I'm getting more sleep, I'm going to feel more energetic, and then that may help me then with wanting to exercise as well. So to me, it's just like a logical system of, okay, if I do X, Y, and Z, these things will naturally improve. And it's within my control to do that, to help improve my sleep patterns. But as I said, it's within my control, but I just have terrible self-control. So I'm just, I guess, a bit frustrated that something so simple of just making, well, it should be simple, but I find it anything but.
Okay. All right. So you have the life that you wanted. Like, you wanted this. At one point, you walked into Telstra and you bought the phone. You signed the contract. At one point in time, you've decided that, geez, flaming, I know what I have to do. This is a great idea. I need an iPhone, whatever. Or I know what I need to do. I need to go and sign a contract on a house. I know what I need to do. I need to sign a contract on a teaching gig, be a Japanese teacher. I know what I have to do. I need to stay up late so that I can meal prep and get this done. And the benefit of that is that I get to be by myself. Yay. That's what I really just have been craving. This is amazing. This beautiful time where I get to be by myself. I get to have some time. No, miss, or mom, or honey. It's just me with me. And so you sign the contract. You're just like, flaming, don't even care about the fine print. Give me the iPhone. Give me the teaching gig. Give me the house. Give me the 11:30 bedtime. I want this. So at one point you signed that. You wanted that. You have the life that you wanted.
Yeah, I guess so. I do, like, I definitely have aspects of it, but I kind of want to I want to be different. I want to make some changes so that I'd like to be a morning person. I'd like to be able to get up early and get my workout in before I go. Like, so I start off the day with me time, even if it's a walk or something. I see people that do that and I think, oh, I want that too. I really want to be a morning person rather than a night person, or at least, a few days a week getting up a bit extra early so that I can sort of take care of that. I actually would really love if that came naturally, but it doesn't. So I feel like perhaps there are things I can do to help, get me to that point where I can do that. Because I just kind of think, like, sorry. What I'm doing right now isn't really sustainable in the long term. So I guess if I can make some of these changes now, I can, I guess, just be healthier, be happier, and also help influence my kids to be healthier too, and to be more active. And because we're such a busy family. Like, my kids don't do a huge amount of extracurricular activities or whatever, but on the weekends, because because my husband and I are so tired, and we just have no motivation. We just spend a lot of time sitting around doing nothing, and I don't think that's great for the kids either. Like, they like a bit of downtime. I think that's important, but we should be out and about and doing more things. And like, I want them to be able to enjoy going out and exercising and doing things. Like, it doesn't have to be an organised sport, but like, let's go on a family walk, or like, we have kayaks and we've done that a few times and we all enjoy that. But just being motivated to go, okay, let's load up the kayaks. It's only like 10 to 15 minutes from us to go and do those sorts of activities, but we just aren't motivated to do it because we're just so stuffed from our busy week.
And what does that mean about you? If you're so stuffed, so tired, who are you?
I guess just, yeah, we're just existing, I suppose. Like, there's some great moments in there, don't get me wrong. And there'll be times where we do go out and, like, you know, we go out and spend time with our family quite often and do family dinners and things like that. There might be like a picnic, catch up with friends. And so there's things that are peppered throughout there. But as a general rule, we just spend a lot of time recovering.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah. So I guess, and I feel like if I don't make the changes, it's not going to come from anywhere else. Because my husband is just not ever, he's such a homebody. He's never been one that wants to go out and do a lot anyway. So it always has to be driven from myself. And then, like, if I'm not motivated, then it's just, I just think we just need some changes there as a family. And of course, that's down to mum, isn't it? So, yeah.
Could come down to you. Hey, like, maybe.
Well, 17 years later, I'm telling you, it comes from mum.
Gotcha.
I love my husband dearly, but he's not the motivator. Like, I'm the motivator. Like, and like he's making some small changes with his diet and lifestyle as well, which I think will have an impact, certainly, and I'm trying to encourage that as well. But yeah, as I said, I'm the one who's like, let's do this, or I've booked it in and like, this is what we're going to do. And then he's happy to go along with it. But I kind of have to do all the mental load, I guess, is with me. And like, yeah, I've had those conversations with him before, but he just doesn't get it. I don't think, not in the same way, you know, like, oh, the kids have got this, and this during the week, so this has to happen before this. And like, men just, maybe this is a bit of a generalization, but I think most men don't think that way. They're a little bit more one task at a time kind of people, whereas I think women naturally have 100 things ticking over in their mind. So, yeah. And that's very draining when you're the one carrying that for everyone. And, so...
Yeah, you've signed the contract for this. This is how you want to live your life, and it sounds like it has to come from me. It has to come from mum. You know, like if this is the game you want to play, if that's the way you want your family to run, if you want to be the motivator, you just keep finding reasons and ways to build that out and to play that game. Hey.
Yeah, I feel that's probably pretty accurate. Yeah.
So, okay. Like, there's a reason why you're stuffed. There's the if I go, I'm going to draw a picture. Let me draw a picture. Okay, here we go. So stuffed. This I am stuffed on the weekend. All right.
Yeah.
This is the after the weekend. So this is the start of the week. Like, I'm okay. This is the start of the week. Something happens here that gets you here. You know, to get to being stuffed, to feeling stuffed. There's decisions, there's choices, there's priorities, there's thoughts, there's feelings, there's a whole bunch of stuff that gets you stuffed.
Yeah.
Can we chat about this? Life and choices and priorities and decisions that lead you to feeling stuffed? What does that look like? Like in the week. Now we've talked about this a little bit. Yes, sleep's in there. Sleep's great. I love it. You know what else is great?
What?
Like morphine. What's the stuff that they give you, happy gas to make you fall asleep in surgeries? Like that's great. Fall asleep, you can be able to not be conscious when you have bits and pieces cut out or cut into when you go into surgeries. If you're like me, you wake up in surgeries whenever you go for a surgery because you're a big dude and they don't give you enough gas. That's happened a few times.
Scary.
Yeah. I woke up one time, I'm like, am I meant to be awake? And they go, shh.
Wow.
That was a segue. Okay, so nothing's a problem till it is. Everything's okay till it's not. Sometimes we can take the Panadol to cover up the pain. We can mask, we can manage, we can medicate these things just so that we can keep doing what we're doing. If I'm banging my head on the wall and I want to keep banging my head on the wall, even though I'm getting cut open and bruised and things like that, I take a Panadol and I put on a helmet. Bang, yes. Now I don't hurt when I'm hitting the wall. I can keep going. I can keep banging my head on the wall. Then when the helmet breaks or the Panadol wears off, I pop more pills. I put on a new helmet. And so at the moment, I don't know if I'm convinced, and maybe you are, but I don't know if I'm convinced that sleep's not searching for sleep, searching for recovery on the weekend. I'm not convinced that this isn't a management for a greater problem.
Yeah, it's fair.
You mentioned your crash and burn cycle, your neck. Why are you? And then you talk about chronic overachiever right at the start. You're a yes person.
Yeah, well, just for a bit of context. So I'm not only a Japanese teacher, I'm the secretary of the Japanese Teachers Organisation of South Australia. So I have regular meetings. And because I'm the secretary, I have an email account for that. So I have my personal email. I have my Jautasa email, the one for Japanese teaching. I have my school email. I have an email for some church-related stuff that I do. So there's 4 email accounts that I'm managing. That's pretty overloading. And then, you have your day-to-day like planning and getting resources ready to teach, which is full on as it is. And then I'm stupidly doing some extra certification at the moment because I'm wanting to head towards leadership over the next few years as the kids get a bit older, because I just stepped in as the acting deputy at my school for 6 weeks. So I was working full time. Yeah. So I love leading. I love that leadership. I love mentoring other Japanese teachers. I do feel I'm skilled in that and I get great joy out of doing that. So that's certainly not something I want to stop, but I just have so many things I've got going at once. And then that's on top of obviously 3 children.
Yeah.
Trying to make sure their needs are met and just like cleaning in my house at the moment is just bare minimum. We're just surviving. And then we do spend a lot of the time on Friday night, Saturday cleaning up, because it's just a disaster during the week because we just do not have the energy or time to kind of tackle it. And my kids are certainly stepping up and doing more, which is great. We expect a bit more of them than maybe other parents do, based on like what I talk about with my other mum friends. But there's still a lot that sort of tends to get left to me, like the laundry and that sort of thing. But because when you've got 5 people in the family, you're going to do a lot of laundry. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff that sort of gets packed into that week. And I only work 4 days a week normally. I've worked full time recently, which is why I think I'm really struggling at the moment, because I've just had that period of very heavy going, being in the leadership role in my school. My husband was away for a few weeks of that overseas, so I was managing that as a solo parent as well. I have incredible support networks in place, though. My mum lives close by and she's incredible. She cooks for us regularly. She takes the kids. She does pick up. So I definitely have support in place, which I'm very grateful for. I know not everyone has that. My mother and father-in-law help a little bit too, maybe not as much as I'd like, but they certainly do help where they can. But yeah, and my husband does the school drop-offs pretty much every day, which helps too. So then between my mum and I, we do the pickups in the afternoon. But yeah, lots going on during the week. So normally I have like my Monday morning, I have Mondays off, which is a great day to have off, because then I can kind of set ourselves up for the week. But because I haven't had that day off to myself, I feel like things have kind of collapsed a little bit and the momentum has dried up. But yeah, there's a lot that gets packed into a week with meetings and, yeah, just my normal day-to-day job and some of those extra things. So, and I'm feeling like I'd love to drop one of them, but I just don't know. There's nothing really that I can, or, well, possibly there is, but yeah, I don't know that I want to, if you know what I mean.
No, of course you don't want to. You would have, if you wanted to, you would have already, right?
Yeah.
So you chose this. This is the contract that you've signed. This is how you want to play the game.
That's right. It's all my choice. And my mum says it all the time, like, why do you keep taking on this and that? And why do you've got enough to worry about? And I'm just like, oh, but this, if I do this, this will happen, and da-da-da-da-da. So, because I'm always thinking,
keep going with that. Yep.
Well, I'm always thinking 10 steps ahead. So I'm thinking years ahead.
Why do you do that?
So I'm already like, I don't have another 10 years of me front facing with students. It's too exhausting. So I'm like, and I've got those leadership abilities. Let's look at like doing some upskilling and whatever for that, which is why I'm doing this highly accomplished teacher certification this year. I pushed myself to do it this year because my principal, I don't know how long he's going to be around, and he's a gun and supportive of what I do, and I want to take advantage of that while he's here. So you know what I mean? Like, I'm putting those pressures on myself because in my mind there's a timeline for it. So, and that is sort of how I think generally. So, okay, if I do this X, Y, and Z by this time, this is going to work out better because da-da-da-da-da. And I've got good instincts, so usually those instincts are right and they've led me well so far. But because I'm managing all of that and the mental load of that, it does get overwhelming. So, yeah.
Yeah, you want this, Mel. Like, no one, your mum's not going to convince you otherwise. Your husband, your kids.
I'm very stubborn.
Yeah, I know. How long is it going to take before you realize that you having a recovery day and searching for more energy by getting more sleep? It's management, really. It's like feeding your addiction to doing.
Yeah. I go from one extreme to the other. I'm either like hyper active, mobile, doing stuff, to just doing nothing. There's not much in between.
Yeah. That's so interesting. What kind of person does that?
I don't know. Someone who Oh, I don't know. Don't know how to respond to that. That's obviously me, but I'm sure there's others that are in the same position. But yeah, just it's like, oh, I've been described as like the Energizer Bunny. So like I go, 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 and then the battery just runs out and I stop.
Ah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mel, do you want that to keep going? Because you got this. Like, yeah, get adding more sleep. Get you got 168. Is it 168 hours in a week? Oh, I always forget. I think it's 168 hours. Yeah. Hey Siri, how many hours in a week?
1 week is 168 hours.
There you go.
Nice.
So you're 168 hours in a week. I do too.
Yep.
At the moment, you're stretched. At the moment, you're tired. You're fatigued.
Mm-hmm.
You asked for more sleep. Like, this is the thing. On the surface, that's what you wanted. You want more sleep.
Yeah.
It's like if I had enough energy, if I had enough sleep, then I would be able to do the things. Then I'll be happy.
Like still do them because I still achieve them all, but it's at the expense to myself, if that makes sense.
The expense to myself. Yeah, you're a victim, Mel. You're playing the role of a victim. If I am the victim to my life right now. If I had enough sleep, do you get this? Like, if I had enough sleep, then I'll be able to do all the million things. Then I'll be able to do that stuff, and I'll finally be able to clear my inbox every day. You didn't say that. I just said that.
If only. Actually, I'm not too bad with the emails, but yeah.
And then I'll be able. If I have this, then I'll be able to do that. What's the benefit of doing that? Then I'll be where I want to be, and I'll be happy, and I'll be able to connect with my kids, and I'll be the mum that I want to be, and I'll be the wife that I want to be, and I'll be the person. And you know, what does that mean? If I could, this would be my question to you, Mel, like, what would it mean to you if you could be the wife that you wanted to be, the mum that you wanted to be, the person that you wanted to be?
It'd be amazing. Yeah, heaps of fulfillment and maybe just less worrying about things and just feeling. I think sometimes I put it down to just what I do, being a teacher, that you can never switch off because your weekends are never truly your own, because you've always like, okay, I've got this class that are here and then this class have to do this, and that is always on your mind as a teacher. And I kind of have just felt like that's just what my life is. But perhaps if some of these other things, like I recognise the mind shift change that needs to happen, or some of the patterns that I have, maybe it doesn't have to quite be that way. I don't know. I think I've just taken for granted that that's just the life that I've chosen. So
it's a bit of that's a Melism though, isn't it? Like, I bet you if you lined up every single teacher in the whole world that's ever been and that ever will be, you know, all of them, you got every single one. I reckon there'd be a whole lot that think what you just thought. Teachers never switch off. You said that. Yep. It's always on my mind as a teacher. You said that. I reckon, I mean, I've heard other people in the teaching profession say those exact words. But not every teacher says that. So this is not a universal truth, right?
I've got a couple that are just expert planners that plan things in a way that they have these systems in place that then they just sort of maintain it during the year. Like they don't have to then do a lot during their week because they've done so much. I mean, granted, they spend a lot of time in their holidays sort of setting up those processes. So no, it can be done, but yeah. It's still, I mean, it's still an inordinate amount of work to set those up, but it can be done so that your weeks aren't quite as mental. But yeah, I mean, I don't feel like. It's more the mental load rather than the actual teaching and the resource setup load for me. Like that all is fairly in place. I have systems in place that make that relatively easy, but it's just, I don't know. Life of the school is very different now too, and because I'm doing more leadership, there's other things that tend to fill my weeks now, or, I don't know. There's a lot more.
Sun's going to come up tomorrow, isn't it?
Yeah. What's that?
The sun's going to come up tomorrow, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Or the Earth's going to spin around like this. If I picked up I won't do it, but if I picked up this pen and I let it go, good catch. It's going to drop because of gravity. The law of gravity, the law of whatever makes the Earth spin around. Is that gravity as well? I don't even know. There's some universal laws. Just because you are a teacher doesn't mean you have to be a certain way. You don't have. There's some Mel-isms that you're bringing to this, and you've picked those up along the line because you needed to survive in order to make it from A to B and from start of your career to the end of your career. You had to find a solution in order to survive, and so you found a way to make it work. You walked into Telstra and you picked out the best option for you that was available on the shelf and you walked out with it. 2 months later, you realize, this phone's actually cracked. It's not all cracked up to, I want a new one. and so now it's the same way. Like you've set up your life exactly how you wanted it to be. But it doesn't have to be like this. Every behavior has a belief underneath. You only do this because you believe a certain thing. You only believe a certain way. And when anybody, doesn't matter if they're a teacher or a builder or a scientist or a politician, whenever we think, if I can just have a little bit more energy, if I can have a little bit more time, if I can have a little bit more money, if I can have a little bit more knowledge, if I can have a little bit more expertise, it's if I can have, then I can do. And what was doing all the things mean to you? Well, it means finally I'll be enough. I'll be the person I want to be. I'll be happy. I'll be fulfilled. I'll be okay. I'll be who I want to be because I can finally squeeze in all the things that I want to do. So that's a victim to circumstance.
Yeah.
And there's one other thing is like, if I can do all the things, if I can do all the roles and I can do all the emails and I can do all the stuff and do all the plans, if I can do all the certifications and the studies, if I can do all the leadership, if I can do all the, did I say roles? Do all that stuff. If I can do all the marriage things, I can do all the kid things. If I can do all that and I do all this and I do all that, then I'll be able to have the life that I want. Then I'll be able to have the money, the time, have all the stuff, have all the people, blah, blah. I'll have something. And what will that mean if you have that? Then I can be happy. Then I can be fulfilled. Then I can have less worry. I can be enough.
Makes sense, I guess.
So you got two ways of trying to solve a problem that I'm not 100% sure that you found the real problem, like the root of the problem. Like you want more energy, you want to have more time. But then there's the other part. It's doing things differently. It's just be who you want to be. Be the person that you want to be. Do you want to be this mum who's stretched thin? Do you want to be this mum who's absolutely just drained all the time? Do you want to be this mum that does all the stuff Or do you want to be somebody different? Do you want to be a different kind of way? Like, who do you want to be now? What kind of person do you want to be?
I still want to be the person I am. I happen to like myself. Like,
what does that mean to you though? Like, who do you want to be? Like, how do you want to be?
It's more the how, I think, rather than the who. Like, I definitely want to be more patient and less snappy and be more of my happier self, I suppose. I want my kids to see that side of me a lot more. They're just sort of seeing grumpy, stressed out, stretched mum at the moment for the most part. And be more, I think, as well, when I'm not so stretched and not overwhelmed, I'm more affectionate naturally as well, which I feel like I need to be a bit more. Like, I'm not saying I've withheld affection or anything, but I feel like I need to step that up more. I think my kids need me to be a little bit more, like, just spend time with them in a different way rather than go, oh, you sit and do that. And it's not like they're plonked in front of the TV, like it might be my daughter doing puzzles or whatever, and she wants me to join in. And I'm like, I will in a bit, but I have to do X, Y, and Z first. Like, I actually have to cook the dinner or fold some laundry or whatever it is. But I'm trying to recognise, taking those opportunities and doing them even just for short periods of time. But I want to be able to just prioritise that a lot more and just go, oh, the other stuff can wait, or I don't have to do quite as much because these other things these other processes during the week have made it so that I don't have to do it all at once or all at nighttime or whatever, and I can kind of just focus on those relationships a little bit more. So it's not necessarily changing, like becoming someone different. It's just getting back to who I am more naturally without that level of stress, if that makes sense. Yeah.
Does it make sense to you?
Yeah, I think so. As
cool.
I said, I feel like I'm pretty switched on with who I am, my identity, my sense of self, and that there's no like identity crisis or anything like that happening. It's just, I think, just chronic overwhelm at the moment is the key thing for me. So, yeah.
So you're snappy, you're patient, you're impatient, you're not affectionate in the way that you want to be.
Yeah.
Are these not identity components?
But it's not like, I guess maybe I
what would you call them?
Interpreted what you said a little bit different, like in terms of changing who I am, or like.
Would that not change who you are?
I guess I see it more as just getting back to who I was, but I guess it's still a period of change. It's still a transition, isn't it? So, yeah.
I mean, as I said, Mel, you got the life that you want. I'm not going to convince you. Your mum's not going to convince you. Your husband's not going to convince you. Heck, your kids who are living the life that they're living right now, and they've been living the way that they're living, they're not even going to convince you. You're going to keep doing what you're doing because you want to. No one's going to convince you to be any sort of way that you don't want to be. But you're stuffed. You're stretched. You're stressed.
Yeah.
And you're snappy. And you're impatient. And you're not affectionate in the way that you want to be. That's you. That's how you are. That's how you're being right now. They're your choices to be like that.
Yeah, makes sense.
And that's the fine print. That's what you get when you sign up for an iPhone 16 or you walk out the Telstra store with you sign up for that. That's what you get. They're the warts and all. The decisions that you make, the choices that you make, the programming that you have, they're just so temporary. It's not permanent. You made it up in the first place, so you can make up something different if you want to. That's just the part of the decisions that you've made, the choices that you made. You're so stretched, you're so stressed, you're so strained, snappy. You're at the end. The whole fact that you want to recover is because you lack the energy in the first place. You need something. You need to come back so that you can do it all again. So that's who you are. And tomorrow, that's who you'll be again. And the next day. And when you step into leadership, you'll still be that way.
Yeah.
When your kids are 25, you'll still be that way. And when you're on your deathbed, you'll still be that way. Because that's who you are. It's how you are. There's a belief in there about yourself. I have to be this way. I've got to be this way. I need to be this way. I have to keep going. I have to keep doing. Got to. Need to. Why, Mel?
I don't know. I've always been very driven. I've always, as far as I can remember, I've always wanted to, be involved in everything. And even as a kid, I did all the things. Like if there was something on at school, yep, I'd put my hand up. I'd do it. I don't know. I don't know where it's. I mean, my dad was always very industrious and raised me to be industrious, but I don't know.
What do you get out of being driven? What's the benefit of that?
I think I like to have impact. I like to make a place better from my influence. Yeah, I don't know.
That's good. What do you get? What do you get out of making it better? Which is a beautiful thing. And in your head, you get this. I'm just trying to get you to work. Why do you want to make the place better? Like, what's that all about? Why do you want to influence? What's that all about? What's that going to get you? What's the benefit?
I don't know if I see it as a benefit to me, like, oh, what am I going to get out of this? I just sort of think as a human to leave a place better than what it was when you first got there is just something you should do. Serving others, working. I really love working collaboratively with other teachers, and for example, if there's a difficult student that we're working with, I'm very across what's happening in their other classes with their other teachers. I'm a big communicator. And I like to better talk things out and see see if there's like a common thing that we can work towards, because that's better than just sort of staying in your I could just come to work and teach and then go home, and I'd still do a good job, but I don't know, it's not enough for me. It never has been.
What do you get? What do you get out of this? What's the intention? Like, it's not enough for you.
I think it's about connecting with like young people, helping them realize their potential, helping them to have a place where they can go that they enjoy, and feel a sense of achievement. And same goes with my colleagues. Like, I just think by working together and doing things collaboratively, we grow closer. We have really great professional and personal relationships, and it just makes what we do worthwhile.
How do you know? Like, what you're talking about other people a lot, Mel. What about we talk about you for just a minute? Like, what do you get out of this? It's like pulling water out of a rock, girlfriend. Like, what do you get out of this?
Oh, look, I have these moments all the time during my week where I'm just like, oh, this kid's getting it. And I just get so happy. And
I get so what?
Happy.
You what?
I have heaps of happy moments throughout my week with like just little things. And that's why I love what I do.
I get so happy. So flaming, the way you do anything is the way you do everything. It took that much hard work to realize you're doing it to be happy. No wonder you're stretching yourself thin. You work so hard just to realize all you want is to be happy. You spend so much time thinking about others. You couldn't realize all you want to do is because you just want to be happy. What kind of person isn't happy?
Is that a question for me?
Yeah.
What kind of person isn't happy? I don't know. I think I get happiness not from material things. Never have done. I've never valued material possessions. I drive an old car that I've had for years. I couldn't care less what it looks like. My happy moments are just through experiences and through connecting with people. So
Beautiful.
yeah.
And so if you said that differently, in your map of the world, in the way that you see the world, which is perfect, it's your way. When you have less experiences, when you have less connection, you have less happiness.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
What does that sound like?
Yeah.
That feels all right?
Yeah.
So here you are with your 168 hours and you're on your scale and you are giving kids at school, kids on the board, you're the deputy. What did you, the principal, I couldn't think of the word. you're contributing, you're connecting, you're having experiences, you're studying, and you're laying up the future. You're 10 years, you're thinking 10 years in the future, you got this and then I'll do this, then I'll do that. Just so you can find happiness. And you're connecting with all those people. And then what are you noticing on the weekend? This is some other people who aren't being connected with.
Yeah.
And you want to sleep so you can play that out some more. Like, sleep's great. Don't get me wrong. Sleep's fantastic. Nothing's a problem till it is. Everything's okay till it's not. Yeah, like build out better routines, have better sleep better, have more comfortable mattress, hygiene, blah, blah, blah. Like, do it all. Like, yeah, why not? But it just sounds like the real problem is why you're exhausted in the first place. Thoughts?
Yeah. Sorry, it's just my alarm going off. I think what it is, like over the last few minutes, what seems to be, I guess, noticeable is that maybe I'm just so busy, like just filling everyone's cups, I'm not filling my own. And yeah, that recovery time on the weekend is just, I'm not using it in the way that I need to either for myself or for my family. So I think, yeah, that could be something to look at. Yeah. And I think I just have this mentality of, if I do X, Y, and Z, I'll be happy. If I do X, Y, and Z, this will happen. If I, rather than being present and doing things in my day-to-day that bring me that fulfillment, rather than looking at so far ahead in the future.
Bang. So here's under the mystery box. I'm so stuffed, I'm so stretched, I'm so stressed because I fill everyone else's cup, not my own. That's what that says. Looks like I've just written in Japanese. I scratch. And so, yeah, I fill everyone else's cup, not my own. And you have this now underneath that, to take in another layer we might not get into right now, but it would be my invitation to you, Mel, is to consider, and anyone who's listening that resonates with this, it's like, yeah, cool. Well, someone with a self-perception or a perception about themselves, like of not enoughness, will try to make other people happy. We'll try to make other people happy so that they're happy. It's like this void of self-love. Just fast tracking this, just because we're running low on time. You've got this perception about yourself that leads you to fill other people's cup up and not your own. So this feeling about yourself, this perception about yourself, this self-worth just jams you into fight or flight or fawn. Fawning is rolling over for the appeasement of others. And so when you fill other people's cup and not your own, it looks like perfection. It looks like overdoing, but really it's a scared little girl who's trying to make other people happy so that they'll like her.
I actually don't think I resonate with that, but maybe there is more unpacking to do. I don't think I really I want certain people maybe to care, but as a general rule, I wouldn't like care if people liked me or whatever at work. If there's people that, you know, maybe I get along well, I guess, with most people, but there's a few people like if they were a bit like, I'd be like, whatever, that's them. But maybe it's just.
When will you quit? When will you give all that stuff up then? Or you just don't care about your kids?
No, I don't know if it's just, I don't know. That's a bit of something I'd have to ponder about. Certainly not because I don't care about my kids, but yeah, I don't know.
They're just not as
I
important.
definitely am doing too much, but it's hard, like, because like I hang on to them. I find it hard to let anything go. Yeah. But obviously I do need to. So definitely a lot to ponder there.
It's really interesting because you have the stretchness, you are stressed, you are strained. You're choosing a behavior of filling other people's cups up and not your own. You're choosing to prioritize your energy investment into career, roles, kids that didn't come out of your body, that aren't in your family, prioritizing their needs.
I feel like that's for a short time though. Like there's an end point there, like, because I've got so much on, but I don't feel like that's a forever thing. So, well, it's certainly not going to be a forever thing, but but kids need you regardless of whether there's a timeline or not. So, yeah, I need to work out a way to balance that for sure.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Bang. There you go. So we're not talking about sleep anymore. We're talking about balance. But I still think there's a reason why you're having a problem balancing in the first place. I'm not convinced that you're convinced about the real problem. Yeah. So this is a really interesting conversation because you could take it two ways. One, you could just be like, nah, stuff that. There's nothing I need to do. I'm happy just playing this out the way I am. I just want sleep, man. And then you're just going to go Google sleep tips and tricks and all this sort of stuff. In the same way that somebody who wants more satisfaction in their life will go Google, where do I get more cocaine? Where do I get more heroin? How do I find local drug dealers? And they'll go get the hit so they can be happy. Your cocaine, your buzz, your heroin is different. Your drug is a little bit different.
Yeah.
But it's still covering up.
Yeah.
The whole. I'm excited to follow up and just see what you think in the future, Mel. This is a really interesting. This is where coaching conversations end up. Sometimes it's like, we just took a detour. This didn't go where I was expecting it to go. Well, I just came on here wanting sleep.
Not at all. Yeah, that's okay. I definitely would like to look at it further. There's some things that were a bit uncomfortable that I think probably require a bit further investigation.
Yeah. This is, if I was to do stuff, it would be, all right, this is the result. You're getting this result right now and you're not happy with it. You don't like it. You want something different. Okay. Well, if you want something different, well, you're going to have to, do something different. And at the moment, and 1 + 1 is 2. So this is what you're doing that's getting you here. And what you're not clear on yet is like, why?
Yeah.
Because potentially, I mean, you want sleep so you have more energy. Okay, cool. Well, imagine if you weren't filling other people's flaming cups and you were filling your own. You know, well, that, you know, you've just got enough. Not a question of not having enough because you're not filling anyone else's cups. You're filling your own. But you never will fill your own cup because you aren't the type of girl that fills her own cup first. That's where I would go.
Yeah. Yeah, well, see where we go to next time.
Yeah, sounds good. And the cool thing is, okay, so if you were the type of girl that filled her own cup, like if you could tick this box, then you will fill your cup. Now, if you do fill your cup, well, you'll be the opposite. Like, what's the opposite of stuffed?
Can I still do that other stuff in the middle though?
Well, I fill other people's cups up and not my own. Like you gotta.
Not that, but like, can I do both?
Yeah, that's I don't know.
Can I fill my own and also still help other people? I mean,
yeah, that's your thing, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Because you might feel like if you can address this need right here, well, heck, you might realize, oh, gee whiz, actually being a deputy is a distraction, or you might look at it and be like, far out. Everything else is a distraction, and deputy is the thing. You know, like at the moment, you're unintentionally stretching yourself, and so if you can get clear here. It's like, oh, okay. Well, then now I can be more intentional. And so, I'll fill my cup up first and I'll make sure I get my needs. And then now I can be intentional with where I fill other people's cups up.
Yeah. Yes.
So then you won't be stuffed, you'll be something else. You won't be stretched, you'll be something else. You won't be stressed because you'll be something else.
Yeah.
Boom. All right, Mel. Let's leave it there. We'll wrap this one up. Thanks for jumping in. That was fun.
You're welcome.
I'll let you know when this recording goes up, and if anyone else has any questions or if you resonate, just leave a comment underneath, and we can keep the ball rolling. But
sure, sounds good.
Until the next time we chat, thank you so much, and I look forward to catching up with you next time.
All right, sounds good. Thank you.
All righty. Catch you later, Mel.
Bye.
See ya.
Thank you so much for listening. We so appreciate you. If you'd like to give us extra smiles, drop us a review and spread the love by sharing this episode.
You can also rate your own state of burnout and the root cause contributors by taking our Ending Body Burnout Assessment on our website. And if you're interested in learning about our group or one-on-one Ending Body Burnout programs, shoot us a DM via Instagram or Facebook.
Have the best day ever.